Hi lovelies! As you guys know, I am all about making your lives in the kitchen easier and more flavorful. And that's why today I am sharing another one of my very favorite 30-minute meals, this incredible pad thai fried rice. Yes, it's basically a combination of two of the best takeout dishes on earth, pad thai and fried rice. We're combining them here in a dish that is absolutely divine tasting, but pretty simple to prepare and comes together in absolutely no time. So the first step here is going to be making a really simple but delicious sauce for our pad thai fried rice. And that all starts with some lime juice. So you get this nice sort of tartness happening to begin with. I'm just gonna get in here with the juice of one whole lime. I love my citrus press. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite kitchen tools. And then we're going to offset that sort of sour, citrusy flavor with some tamari. So tamari is just gluten-free soy sauce. If you want to use regular soy sauce, you definitely can. It's totally up to you. Next, I want to add a ton of great umami flavor. And to do that, I'm adding fish sauce. Now, fish sauce is really, really classic in Thai cooking. I know some people can get a little nervous when they hear fish sauce, but trust me, the fishiness is completely indetectable. And what you end up with is this amazing savory umami flavor that you will not be able to get enough of. Now, to offset that savory flavor, we also want to add a little sweetness to this, courtesy of some brown sugar. And then finally, I also want to add some spice to this, and I'm doing that with some sriracha. You could use some sambal or even some chili garlic sauce would work, whatever kind of spice you have at home. Go ahead and use that, or skip the spice if you want to. You'll still have a really, really delicious dish. Then all I need to do is give this a quick mix until it's well combined, and I can set this aside while I turn my attention to firing things up on the stove. The first step is going to be heating up some oil over medium-high heat in a nice non-stick frying pan. You could also use a wok for this recipe, of course, if you wanted to. I don't have a wok on hand, so a frying pan it is. I'm just gonna let that oil heat up in my pan just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my shrimp to the pan. I am using some peeled shrimp with the tail on, but you can use whatever kind of shrimp you want. If you're not a fan of shrimp, you also have the option to improvise here with some chicken, some pork, or even some tofu would be really good. Or you can actually skip this step entirely and get straight to the rice itself. I just want to season that shrimp up a little bit with some salt. And then once it's nice and pink on one side, I'll get in with my tongs and give it a good flip, and we'll get it nice and pink on the other side. A couple things I absolutely love about shrimp. First of all, they cook so quickly. Honestly, in 3 or 4 minutes, your shrimp is ready to be enjoyed. The other thing I love about shrimp is that it's got a built-in mechanism to tell you when it's done. So just as soon as it turns bright pink and opaque, you know it's ready to come off the heat. So now that my shrimp is fully cooked, it's time to get it out of the pan. You really do not want to overcook your shrimp in a dish like this. It can get really rubbery and not very delicious. So I'm just gonna get it out of the pan really, really quickly with my tongs, and then you could get the rest of your ingredients happening. So if necessary, at this point, you can go ahead and add just a little more oil to the pan. And now it's time to start getting some flavor happening here. So first things first, I've got 1 large shallot that I've just really chopped up finely. I've also got 2 cloves of minced garlic headed in here, as well as about a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger. And guys, there is no substitute for freshly grated ginger. It's the best. Definitely grate your ginger yourself if you can. And once that all hits the pan, I just want to let it keep moving for about 30 seconds or so. You can smell that ginger instantly, and it just fills the entire kitchen with the most beautiful aroma. Now, just as soon as you can smell those ingredients really get fired up, you know it's time to add your egg to this. I've got 2 eggs that I've just beaten really well, and I'm gonna get them into the pan, and I'm just gonna let that scramble up until it's just starting to set. Maybe about 30 seconds to a minute because my pan's nice and hot. And just as soon as you start to see those eggs set, it's time to get the rest of your ingredients into your pan. So I've got 4 to 5 cups of cooked rice here that I've allowed to cool completely. In a traditional fried rice dish like this, the best rice is day-old rice. So if you make your rice on the weekend and then cook it up on Monday or Tuesday, that will make the absolute best fried rice because the drier your rice is, the more tasty your dish will be. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that cooked rice right into the pan. And then I'm also going to add some shredded carrot to this, as well as some bean sprouts. And both of these add a little bit of crunch and texture to this dish that I think you guys will really love. And then finally, I'm also gonna go ahead and get in here with my amazing pad thai sauce, because that's really the star of this show, am I right? At this point, we just wanna toss this all together. And we're only going to let this cook for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. That's all it's gonna take for our bean sprouts and our carrots to start softening up, for our rice to be heated through, and for all the flavors of that amazing sauce to really permeate our dish. And honestly, guys, this deliciousness is ready to be served in less than 15 minutes on the stove. How great is that? I like finishing it off by topping it with that amazing shrimp that we cooked earlier, a nice handful of sliced green onions, some chopped peanuts, which are really traditional in a pad thai dish, and finally, a little sprinkle of fresh chopped cilantro. It's savory, it's a little sweet, it's got a little bit of spice. Guys, this dish is such a winner. You will absolutely love it. If you give it a try for yourselves, of course, as always, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. Remember, this recipe, like all of my recipes, can be found on healthymealplans.com, our amazing meal planning site that allows you to browse more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generates your grocery list for the week. How easy is that? Finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.